He's not come back.
No.
Do you think he's all right out in the world on his own? Oh, little boy's grown up. I mean, that voice that I heard, though.
Yeah?
Well, it said meat sleeves, and I suppose if you're a alien made of rubber, I suppose we kind of do look like meat sleeves?
I hadn't considered that.
That means that all of this time he's been alive.
You know, I did wonder.
Yeah, I mean, there was weird things. He did move around a couple of times, and there was that bit when the door opened.
Oh, yeah.
He seemed to have something to do with that, and then we just seemed to forget about it. I mean, I think we're just bad people. Maybe we don't deserve to have children.
Maybe movies.
Well, hello.
Hi.
It is Wednesday, and we are back again to have a look at Act 1 of Big Trouble.
Big Trouble. Yes, it's Big Trouble. Big Trouble. We know what we're doing here, really.
Yeah, a professional organisation doing proper things.
It's not like we've been doing this for, I don't know, close to 2 years.
Is it? Oh, God. Well, 2 years as far as we know here. I mean, it could be generations back in the real world.
Oh, God, I hadn't thought about time dilation.
It's fine.
No.
We get to live in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Where everything is bright and shiny, there's no war, and everyone has lots of free electricity.
If only.
Yeah. Anyway, as always, thank you for coming back and joining us. Thank you to our new subscribers as well.
Thank you.
You are more than welcome, and please do come back, as I said before, and come back often, and remind us that we're not alone in the universe. Before we begin, a quick shout out today for a good friend and a content creator and a filmmaker, for Lee Hampton and his channel Lee Hampton Films. Lee's local chap writes. He's a writing machine.
Yes, he does have quite an output.
Yes, and has made several films, several short films. He did his first proper feature, Fighting Heart, a few years back.
Yep.
Which I know. Was you involved in that as well?
I did one scene with you. Remember,
Cool.
It was the
Oh yes, the fight. Yeah, the
parking lot scene. Yeah.
yes, the bare knuckle boxing scene. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all on his channel, and you know he's working on some new stuff at the moment, which I think you were involved.
Hmm?
You did. Oh no, you did. There was Michael's that you were involved with, wasn't it?
I was working with Mike, but Lee was involved with the project.
That's right. But yeah, do go and check out his channel. Obviously, there will be a link in the description below. And hope you're okay, buddy. And I shall see you soon. Maybe come and join us one month. It'll be good. We've got popcorn. I mean, what more can you want?
Free food.
Let's have a look. Act 1. I've got a few notes for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't noticed it before. It feels like a western.
Kind of is, yeah.
They're kind of like the traveller. You've got the preacher in there as well. Mm. There's just something about it. I don't know. The setup.
Well, you've mentioned it before, but the soundtrack even has almost Western style guitar riff to it and stuff, doesn't it?
I mean, I must admit, it didn't properly kind of click in until I rewatched it, and it's when Nada's in the camp, in that first night that he spends there, and he's just there playing the harmonica.
Yeah.
My thoughts then with regards to our hook into this, into Big Trouble. Mm-hmm. Because obviously we've got Jack. He's got his truck.
Which does kind of change things a bit, doesn't it?
It does and it doesn't, because the only way to make it's the truck and the fact that he's a delivery driver is the hook into Big Trouble in Little China, because he's delivering stuff. Pork. Yeah. So what we need to do here is we need to change what he's transporting. So I thought maybe he's transporting building supplies to the site where Frank works.
Okay. Right.
Obviously, the stuff at the start when Nada appears and he's walking through the streets, we could translate that into he's driving through LA, maybe driving through slums.
Yeah, that works. My concern is how do we get them to the camp? Because as a truck driver, Jack is not in need the same way that Nada is.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
I have an idea, but I'll come to that in a minute. I did also think as well, because we don't want to lose the bit where he sees the preacher.
Ah.
I had two thoughts about that. The first one was, while he's driving through the town, he stops at some traffic lights, and while he's waiting at the lights, he sees that. But I thought that might be too... If we've already had him driving through like slums and that, and so we see the destitution of people around him, we've already kind of done that. So then I thought, well, what about if he stops off to get something to eat or something, and when he comes back to his truck, he gets stopped by the police. They kind of asked to see his permits. Which again throws in that kind of police state, can I see your papers kind of...
And like the preacher's going on in the background while the cops are trying to ticket him?
Yes, while they're looking at his papers, he's kind of distracted and he sees that.
Right, yeah.
And then they spot him, and then the cops go, all right, yeah, off you go. And then they're the cops, then they go over towards to
Which gives him
move
a perfectly good reason to want to move on as well.
Yeah. I'm good for a minute, but thank you. I will do in a second, because I am hungry. Yeah, so I was thinking exactly the same thing as you. As you say, once he gets to the thing, all he has to do is dump off his load and then go.
Yeah.
That came out wrong.
Once again, you didn't think that through very far, did you?
No. It sounded perfectly normal in my head. But my first thought was he gets there late and they're about to lock up for the night. And then I was thinking, oh, well, we'll sort it out in the morning. But I thought, well, no, it's his truck. They'll just uncouple the trailer and that's it. He can still go. So what about he gets there, there's an accident that trashes his truck. So he can't leave.
Okay.
And because you can't stay here overnight, because if you would normally sleep in his truck, you need somewhere to stay.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
There's another layer to this, possibly. Because again, depending on when we get to the end of the film, if Jack's ultimate end in this film is like Nada's in the original, there's a nice symbolism there. Like he lived in his truck. This has been his life. The moment that the truck, or it's the end of the line, not just for the truck, but for him as well. So it's a nice little bit. Maybe. Again, we don't know because we haven't decided on that yet.
Of course. I like it. I do like it. And it solves that fundamental problem of how do we get him to the camp.
Fantastic.
Good job. Gold star.
Oh, yes. Dosh. We do lose the first night sleeping rough, but because we've got Jack in this, the tempo is going to be so much quicker anyway.
Right, do you want to raise the tempo?
Just him being in there is going to do that. I think we detract too much from his character if we try and slow him down too much. Do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think we need his first night there. Actually, no, he could be suspicious about Gilbert from the beginning, couldn't he?
Yeah.
You could have the friendly meeting in the afternoon when he gets there, and then at night sees him.
In terms of stuff that we've lost 2 scenes potentially, but we've replaced them with things. So yeah, we've lost the first night of him sleeping rough and him going to the job centre, and that's about it.
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah.
But we've kind of, we've replaced the job centre thing with his encounter with the police.
And probably some bureaucratic interaction to do with insurance, just to put another layer to stuff.
Oh, okay. So once his truck gets trashed, so I'm imagining
had an accident, he has to call insurance, right?
Yeah. So we can still do it. So I mean, I was imagining something like the crane fails, and then a load of massive kind of plastic tubes or whatever fall on the truck, and he can't get it out. So the foreman says, "Yeah, go and speak to our insurance." You go speak to the admin lady in the site office.
Yeah.
And then we do it there instead. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you'll have to come. You need to fill these out in triplicate. Come back in 3 days' time.
Yeah, exactly.
All of this kind of rubbish.
Yeah.
We won't get that kind of standoffishness that we get with Nada when he's talking to Frank. Mm-hmm. He's a lot more garrulous, and they'll just go off and
Jack has opinions, and he's going to share them.
Yes. Which made me think that we could still include the scene, in the night that he's sleeping rough, when he sees the actress on the TV. Mm-hmm. We could slot that in, and that he goes and gets a bit more chatty with the homeless guys watching TV, and that's just one of the things that's on the TV there. So we can still keep that in. Yeah. I mean, do we think Jack is the kind of guy that would pick up on when they're getting the transmission through on the TV, and Nada spots the preacher mouthing it? Yeah. Do we think? Which I must admit, I hadn't noticed before.
Not until preparing for this did I realise. Oh no, he's actually saying the words that are on the TV. No, it's so cool. I think we have to, because otherwise we're going to miss it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe when the transmission cuts out, So when Gilbert hurries over to the church.
And helps the priest over.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether, because again, that's a bit where I think whereas Nada would watch and see what happens,
Yes.
would Jack go up and say something and try to insert himself into there?
I have to say I can't help but think so. He would try to. This is Jack.
Yeah.
Of course he knows what he's doing.
Something simple like you wanted to ask Gilbert something that you forgot about earlier in the day, and he's like, yeah, no, kind of busy, we'll chat about it tomorrow or something.
Okay, yeah.
And that brush off is enough for Jack to go, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
At least, adds fuel to what's already in his mind about something's not quite right. I don't know, does it work? Do you think... Are you happy with it, or, I don't know. I'm
Right. I think you might have lost me a little bit there. So what you're saying that...
After Nada's watched the preacher mouthing the thing,
Yeah.
and then Gilbert comes over and takes him over to the church.
Yeah, that's
and he's
right.
watching that. So I'm saying that
He would go over there then.
and have a chat then.
Yeah.
Gives him the brush off, and then they go back into the church and they leave Jack on his own. I'm just wondering, are we happy with that, with him doing that, and are we happy that that's within character for Jack to
Try and insert himself into the situation.
and so lightly be brushed off?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Because we try to keep the pacing going to a degree, so as it is, we still need to let things play out a bit more.
Yeah.
Cool. Which then takes us to the next morning and snooping about the church. Because, some of that bit there, before he goes into the church, when he has that kind of couple of minutes with Gilbert in the morning, and he says about, oh yeah, choir practice went on quite late last night. From that point, and certainly when we get into Act 2, his character changes and he's almost like a Jack Burton, really. There's elements to Nada that come out later in the film. And like some of the one-liners and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Those bits, I think, are going to be easier for us.
Yeah.
Because all we need to do is ramp that up to like, oh, Flash!
Wow.
Yeah, fine, whatever, do your thing.
By the way, random note, I was watching some of the extras. The bubblegum line?
Yeah.
That was all Roddy Piper.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was all Roddy Piper. Carpenter just went, I wish I'd thought of that line. But yeah, do it.
Yeah, fantastic.
We'll get this bit when he pokes around the church, finds the cubby hole.
Yeah, accosted by the preacher.
That's what's going to stop him from interrupting them when they're in the middle of their argument. Because I was thinking Jack's the kind of person who would go, hey, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
But no, the preacher coming up and doing the whole face clattering thing is a good reason. Of course, Jack is going to immediately go to his new best friend.
Yes.
And go, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff I saw over there.
Frank's going to be like, yeah, leave it alone, mate.
Leave it alone. And his whole speech about walking the white line.
Is Jack the kind of guy that would go to the point of, like, borrowing that guy's binoculars? See, I didn't know, this is the thing, I didn't know whether that bit with the preacher and the thing might actually lead to him meeting them earlier. Because he would try, or are we happy that it freaks him out enough that he leaves? And then goes and finds Frank, as you say. I suppose that we could do, because again, as you were saying in the pitch meeting, so much of Jack's motivation in Big Trouble in Little China is about getting his truck back. And that's what kind of drives him on to a degree.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, his truck is totaled, and as far as he knows, he can't do anything about it, so he doesn't have that impetus. So
Yeah.
it's fair enough that he may be a little bit more laid back, or not laid back. He just doesn't leap into things as much, because at this moment, the stakes for him aren't the same.
I do see what you mean, but on the other hand, as I said, Jack is a man with an opinion.
True. So we reckon he would enforce his way into their argument.
My instinct is to say, yeah, of course he would.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they try and bluff him again with something about, we're trying this out as jobs for the homeless or something, like making sunglasses for people that we can sell cheap, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which he's not going to believe because there's a fuck off massive satellite dish in the church.
Yeah, it'd literally be like, and this is?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
It's either that or he tries to walk in and we have Gilbert, like, literally, like...
This private meeting,
private meeting, yeah.
And sort of physically manhandle him out of the room sort of thing.
Maybe try and get him to, not to help what they're doing. Can you give these guys a hand because we've got to get the food out or something like that? Can you help them?
Oh,
if you want to help,
yeah.
we've got all the food ready in this room. Can you just help them take it over? And
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Just distract him.
Just have to distract him, and then, as you
Yeah.
say, he goes and finds Frank, and Frank's like, yeah, leave it alone, buddy.
Yeah.
And then we run through into the evening when...
The raid happens.
Yeah. Which I noticed this time when I was watching it, on the side of the SWAT van, it says Scientific Investigation Division.
Interesting.
Yeah. I imagine Jack is going to be more proactive at getting people out of the camp.
Yes. He is very much a hero type. He will, come on, this way.
Which did make me think, would he try it? I mean, I know there's a number, at least half a dozen odd cops there where the preacher and the other guy are being beaten up around the alleyway.
This is where I think we might have a problem, because yes, I think Jack would feel like...
He would feel compelled to try and do something.
Yeah.
In which case, maybe we should swap it around. The guy who Nada saves, who's hidden behind the wall, maybe it should be the other way around. He pulls Jack away.
Yeah.
And says, no, there's too many of them. And then he switches his responsibility to this guy's obviously scared out of his wits.
That's right, and because when those cops come around the corner in the alleyway, that does more or less like double the number of cops in the alleyway now. It's like, yeah this is stupid.
Yeah. Which takes us to, as I said last time, climbing in through windows into abandoned buildings. And effectively the end of the act.
Effectively, yes, because they then hide out for the rest of the night.
They do. Fantastic.
Got through the first act?
Got through the first act. That was actually quite easy. It's the next act I've got, I think there may be problems.
It's going to get increasingly wacky.
Yes, absolutely, and I hope so. Because we've got this wonderful character, it's going to be interesting. Maybe, I suppose, again, the stuff with Frank is going to be the same because Frank's character hasn't changed, so he's still going to...
Yeah, Frank is Frank, and we could depend on him in that situation to be an anchor point in certain ways.
So things like when he sees him in the camp, he is going to still walk away. Like, nope, I don't want anything to do with it. He's going to go his own way.
Yeah.
But we can look at that when we come back on Friday. Look at that segue. Oh, doesn't it make you excited? Anyway, yes, as I was saying, we will be back on Friday to look at the rest of this at Act 2 of Big Trouble. As I was about to say Jake Plissken. As Jack Burton goes up against they.
They indeed.
We will see you on Friday. Have a great Thursday. Take care.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.